Samuel PATY, Peter de Vries, RUHOLLAH Zam, KYAL Zin, MURSAL WAHIDI, Sadiya Sadat, SHAHNAZ RAUFI. 7 names, 7 people, 7 victims killed in the last year. Murdered for doing their job. Their lives ended cruelly for reporting the news or teaching their students about the power and importance of free speech. For campaigning to protect the right to free expression. For simply attending a protest against a military coup. These extraordinary people represent hundreds more like them who've been locked up and seen their families threatened for opposing dictators. They have been tortured and killed for standing up to tyrants, for demanding their rights to free speech, for protecting a free media, for campaigning for academic freedom. They have had their liberty and their lives taken from them. The last 18 months have been dominated by the global pandemic, but behind the headlines, dictators and despots have used COVID as cover to clamp down on the rights of their citizens, to censor their critics and attack the basic human rights of their people. And that is why Index on Censorship exists. 50 years ago, Index was born as a platform for Soviet dissidents to tell their stories, to be a refuge for brave individuals campaigning for liberal democracy. From the first edition of our award-winning magazine, we have shone a light into the darkness of repressive regimes who wanted to crush dissent, silence critics, and suppress democratic accountability. And 50 years on, the world can seem more and more unforgiving of dissent. From Myanmar to India, Hong Kong to Tanzania, Palestine to Kashmir, and Eastern Europe, each a region where rights are being abused, freedoms ended, and citizens shackled by governments who control through fear and repression. That is why we not only celebrate the last 50 years of Index, but we plan for the next 50, as our work is needed just as much today as it was at the beginning. In Belarus today, over 500 activists and journalists have been imprisoned by the regime in the last year, including our own former member of staff and massive Liverpool fan, Andrei Alexandrou. Since the introduction of the national security law, dozens of pro-democracy activists and journalists have been detained in Hong Kong, with more forced to flee their homes. And over 900 protesters in Myanmar have been murdered since the military coup, with thousands more locked up or missing. Index's mission will be complete when we live in a world where free speech and free expression is valued by all. But there is sadly still so much work to do. It's for all these reasons that Index continues to provide a platform for exiled and besieged reporters, censored writers, silenced artists, and targeted academics. We are inspired by their work and honoured to support those who refuse to be silenced. And as long as they continue to fight for freedoms, Index will be a voice for the persecuted.